Swiftspear for round 1 on the play. Always a good place to be. One-lander, not so great. There are definitely some one-landers with this deck that you can keep, but Overgrown Tomb with some Wild Nicottles is not going to get the job done. Like, if one of these cards were like a Mishra's Bauble or a Street Wraith, maybe I would consider it, but this one is pretty good. It is tough to figure out what to lead on. And let's see. So we have Sacred Foundry. So the other pair is Overgrown Tomb. So we are probably not going to fetch this turn. So I think we can keep the Bauble on top. Play the Swiftspear. Hit him for 1. The next turn we can Bauble ourselves, cycle Street Wraith if we like the card, Wooded Foothills, etc., etc. Alright. So, Bant Collecting Company Humans is what it looks like. I will likely mess up this sequencing at least once. Bauble ourselves. Looks like it is a Street Wraith. So, alright, Overgrown Tomb. And I don't think there's a whole lot of merit to just cycling Street Wraith right now. There's also not a ton of merit to waiting. It's possible that we get to ambush them with making our Tarmogoyf a little bit bigger, but I knew what I was going to do on this turn, so there's no reason for me to actually cycle the Street Wraith. But next turn, when we're going to have all of our mana, then that's a different story. We don't necessarily know. Okay, so this is Weirdo Eldrazi deck? Okay. Alright, Fatal Push is probably pretty good. So I'm going to play Swiftspear Fatal Push with these 2 lands, probably. Ideally, I would be able to fetch Steam Vents. But if this hits like a Nicotle or something, I don't think I'll be able to do that. Another Swiftspear would be the better draw, I guess. Best draw. I have my cheat sheet over here of which lands to fetch. Which lands are fetchable. So we have Temple Garden and Blood Crypt once we get Steam Vents. Most of our lands get Blood Crypt, so we'll probably Mesa for the Temple Garden. And I'm just going to fetch this tapped. We don't have Death Shadow. Our opponent is presumably trying to kill us. Nothing too good, please. Guardian of Thraben, alright. Alright. I successfully gave their Matter Reshaper -1/-1. These are the spots where Mutagenic Growth is awesome. So I think at some point my opponent has to start blocking. And if they double blocked this turn, I wouldn't be too shocked. And then if I had a Growth, I could potentially blow them out, but Fatal Push looking kind of lackluster. I did like the Mistress Bauble. Although... Oh, I guess I can't even growth because of the Thalia, which is kind of funny. So they had actually a safe double block if they wanted. Yeah, maybe... I still think Bauble with 18 lands is probably reasonable. Like, it's... Obviously, once you have a higher density of cyclers, you are more prone to actually just flooding out. But the old Death Shadow Zoo decks played 17 land and 4 Gitaxian Probes, so... So it looks like they are white-green Eldrazi Hate Bears. The Horizon Canopy could just be a value-added mono-white, though, so... Gotta be careful here to not die on the crackback, but I guess... Thankfully, maybe. We don't have any spells for our Swift Spears anyway. This is definitely one of the matchups I think where being Zoo instead of like Grixis Death Shadow is a benefit in this matchup. Because you have more threats, which play to the board a lot better. Instead of random Inquisitions and Stubborn Denials and stuff that doesn't actually interact with them all that much. So, we are Hellbent. Thought-Knot Seer is not a big concern. And Displacer could potentially be good. Alright, how ham do I want to go on this Arid Mesa? I think maybe just being a 4/4 is enough. I do kind of want a second Black Source. Not that it really matters at this point, I guess, but in case I get Ghost Quartered, which is almost assuredly in their deck. Ooh, Tribal Flames on top. How do we proceed? So, is there a world in which we get to attack with everything and not take 7 on the crackback? If we attack with everything, they have to jump with something, right? Displacer on Swift Spear seems pretty obvious. Arbiter could go on Death Shadow, and then they take 6 down to 5, which is right where we want them. So maybe that's a reasonable assumption for blocks. And if they end up jumping with an additional thing, that's fine too. It's odd that they put it in the reveal window. Oh, wow. Okay, what? That's a free block. I don't have any cards. What is their plan here? Just chump blocking with everything. Oh, am I gonna get Thought Knotted? That's awkward. Oh, Smashered. Huh. Well, was not playing around that. Did not expect that. These decks typically don't have this main deck. Whoops. So I could have kept both Swift Spears back, because obviously if I just attack with one, they could just block with Displacer. So I just attack with two big things. Maybe they chump both. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Well, the force is definitely getting in there. I would assume that they would have some amount of vials, but like maybe they have like Blade Splicer Resto. I don't know. So not sure on these Ralliers or these Thoughtseizes. I do think that Thoughtseize is probably going to end up being pretty good. Maybe Souls too. So growths can let my things beat Eldrazi in fights, which is not bad. I think I do want the Thoughtseizes, or at least 3 of them. I think I want all the removal. Possible I could cut a Street Wraith. Just like this. Yeah, so I definitely should have not bobbled myself, because it's entirely possible that they have Thought Knot and then they just take my card anyway, even if it is good. And if that's the case, then I don't see the Tribal Flames. Then I probably just attack with the 2 big things. So if I actually think about it and don't bobble myself, maybe I end up winning that game, just accidentally. So ideally I get Temple Garden here, but I can't fetch that with Bloodstained Mire. So I would have to get an Overgrown Tomb, which is actually not the worst anyway. So if I'm gonna get an Overgrown Tomb, probably play turn 2 Tarmogoyf. Then does that mean that I want to Thoughtseize first? I don't know. It's possible I play Tarmogoyf and they play like a Rest in Peace or something. Although, that's not the worst thing in the world. Can't give up on this prowess value. Just can't do it. Maybe what I should have done was cycle Street Wraith. If I draw a Bobble, I could play it. It's possible I don't actually use the Mire this turn if I draw a different fetch. Yep, there you go. Now I can actually use this fetch to get a Steam Vent or another Black Source or something if I get Ghost Quartered. One thing to keep in mind against Leonin Arbiter decks is that you do ideally want to use your fetch lands before playing out your normal lands so that you don't get got by Leonin Arbiter, but I think this just works out too well. Yeah, next turn I can Thoughtseize and play another Tarmogoyf. Not too bad. Not too bad. Well, there's the Ghost Quarter. So what's my opponent doing over there? All white cards. Oh no! Did they not put in their Gemstone Cavern, or did they draw it? Obviously this hand is not very keepable. So now that I know they have Ghost Quarter, am I supposed to not get this Steam Vents, instead get like another black source? Honestly, I don't think it really matters. Another reason why this deck is better than Grixis in this matchup is that your opponent's mana screwed and you just kill them. They just lose. You don't give them much of time to actually get back into it. I guess I should have sacked the Bauble for an extra point, but... doesn't matter all that much since they're dead. Wait, they're not dead. Because they can block Swiftspear, take 10? Can I push? Nope. Alright, how do I not blow this? I had a Windswept Heath on top that I knew about thanks to the Bauble, so I'm going to sack now, go to 6. So now, again, we have the win in hand with Tribal Flames. How do we blow this? Guess I should have sacked on upkeep so I had push active too. But. Light them up. Hey, we got one. All right. See, our things aren't really dying. So I definitely am down with cutting the Ralliers. Growth still seems alright. I don't know. Maybe these souls are silly. I mean, getting 4 flyers is a pretty big deal. Well, maybe we'll just have the Miser's Growth. Oh, I don't know. I think these souls should be in the deck. being on the draw with all the Thoughtseize, I feel like I'm going to be playing more of a reactive game. Man, I wonder what drawing a Nikado is like. It's probably pretty good. Not that Swiftspear is bad or anything. Alright, so we fetch Blood Crypt Temple Garden. That plays. That plays. And then we can go Swiftspear into Thoughtseize Path, potentially. Let's go. Let's go. Whenever you're ready. Oh, Ghost Quarter. Alright, Blood Crypt Temple Garden. Blood Crypt Temple Garden. Maybe I should Thoughtseize. Can't Swiftspear Bolt, though. Well, I could if I just want to get like a Sacred Foundry or some nonsense. I feel like they were tanking a lot. I kind of want to... This is cowardly. Another Gemstone Cavern. Gemstone Cavern on the play doesn't seem that great. So they don't have any white mana. They could Ghost Quarter themselves. I don't care too much about the path. My deck doesn't really have a lot of stuff that cares about Rest in Peace. I think I'd just take the Thought Knot. Like, my removal spells are going to be good at some point, right? And this just leaves them with a bunch of white spells, so maybe they'll Ghost Quarter themselves and they won't be attacking my mana. Who knows? All right. Ghost Quarter yourself. All right. I like it. Rest in Peace is here. Forge Tender? What? Pro Red, how do I deal? Alright, so this can get Temple Garden. Or rather, the Heath can get Temple Garden. So am I supposed to get Overgrown Tomb this turn? I think I am. So I can go to 12, play a 1/1 Death Shadow, which they will likely path, but that's okay. All right. Now this is where like the Lingering Souls take over. By Lingering Souls I mean Midnight Haunting, because we're probably gonna get Rest in Peace here. No? Waiting for that Tarmogoyf, I guess. Do I want Temple Garden or do I want Sacred Foundry, I guess? Second red versus second green. I guess I don't need second green because if they ever... Well, their Ghost Quarter's gone. Yeah, regardless. I think this is probably correct. Yeah, because this will get path, which will give me the second green anyway. Alright, perfect. So I have 2 black, 2 green, 2 red, 1 white, and no blue. So he should sack this to prevent from the Swift Spear, but doesn't. And now I have 3 sort of 4 power. And a bunch of removal. Alright, didn't sack again. Cool. Had plenty of mana, so waited until my turn to push the Forge Tender so we could get the extra point off of Prowess. I love Control Monastery Swift Spear. Among my favorite archetypes. So I get that I have Tarmogoyf, but I really don't have other graveyard stuff. I mean, I guess you could maybe expect Become Immense or something, but... Well, that's a little bit of a dagger, I think. So we can get Steam Vents, but this doesn't get anything else. What is in my opponent's hand? More paths? No, I will not search. I'm all out. So we could get Thought Knotted here. Could also get Reality Smashered, which is why I saved the Bloodstained Mire in my hand. Don't really want to get Smashered for the 3rd game in a row. I think I'm supposed to sacrifice here. There's like some Mishra's Bauble equity that I could be giving up on, but... Ooh. Nice job, Fetchland. Nice job. We did it! When your removal can actually kill someone. Oh, they sent me a message. Yeah, having removal that burns people out is excellent.